Hey, how's it going? I recently picked up a Wagner Tuning front mount intercooler, and we're going to be installing that today. It goes in the stock position between the radiator and the condenser, but it's much thicker and it flows much better than the stock one. This one's apparently a better flower than the Golf R and Audi S3 intercoolers, so it should be good. It should be a nice supporting mod for our K04, and let's go right ahead and install it. For the majority of this video, we're going to be following the APR instructions for their intercooler install because they show you all the steps in taking off the bumper and unbolting the front clip, etc.
Try it first gear.
So what we need to do is this is where a driver mod comes in.
With the ignition timing dialed back by 1 degree.
Yeah, we made some modifications to the stock K04 map from Eurodyne. We also richened it up a bit up top because it was running pretty lean. Oh yeah.
It's a lot smoother.
Yeah, it is. It's a more linear kind of feel now. The K03 was really punchy, but this one just kind of keeps pulling until you really until you shift basically. There's a lot more top end actually. Okay, so we invested $10 into the channel and we made ourselves a little bit of a light source. By made, I mean ordered on Amazon. And the first step here is to take off the undershield. But to do that, we're going to jack up the car. And that'll get us to a position where we can get to the screws holding in the bumper from the bottom. Then we'll take the front grille off. And that'll get us to some screws here. And then we'll have to take off some torque screws in here to that hold in the wheel liner, and that'll let us pull off the whole bumper. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's jack up the car. This is gonna take like 17 hours to warm this area up.
No, that's a really big heater. This is good. So we're gonna disconnect the battery just for safety measures because we're gonna be disconnecting some connectors.
Technically nothing bad will happen, but you know what? It takes 2 seconds to take it off. Okay, so the next step is to remove all the fasteners, they're T25s, to take that plastic undershield off from under the car. Right under there.
Look at that. Beautiful little toolbox and a really powerful heater. I like that.
I'll put that somewhere, buddy. Okay, so from under the car now, I can see that this is a Jetta. This whole time I thought it was a GTI. No, seriously, everything's good, man. There's no leaks from last time we were in here. When we put the engine back in, we were worried that we would get coolant leaks and stuff from improperly installing stuff, but the after run coolant pump seems to be completely bone dry. Everything looks fine. No leaks, no surprises. This is good. This is good. Knock on oil pan. Hopefully it stays that way. So the next step is to remove a couple torques in the wheel liner that are holding onto this bumper here.
We got one there. T25 right there. There's one right there. One right there. And there's also one underneath, facing up like this.
Okay, so I have some zip ties here that are holding in the nylon line for the methanol kit and some wiring for the methanol kit. So I'll cut these really quick. And then we're going to take this front grille off. This front grille is just 2 T25 Torx here and 2 Phillips heads here. And then you can kind of lift up and pull this front grille off. We're going to do that right now. Cutting my zip ties. Cutting my zippy zappers.
Boost switch power lines.
All this to put a little bit of methanol, water, and happiness into the engine bay. Into the engine. Okay, so there's one Phillips here, and then on the other side of the grill there's another one. These are really, really weak because I've taken off my grill and painted it like 7 times before I learned that you really just shouldn't do that. Clips in here. Okay, front grille is off. We have one T25 Torx hiding down in here, and that is holding in this ducting right here. That light paid for itself. Okay, now pull the T25 Torx out of your radiator fan. Okay, so now we're gonna take off these T25s that are holding the actual bumper. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's missing 6. Okay, so now we have these 2 fasteners over here. It's a T30. Okay, here we go.
Just got to disconnect the side markers and the fog lights, and the front bumper cover will be free.
Okay, so once you've taken the lower jaw off your car, it kind of looks like, then you know that you're close. There you go, little bumpy. I'll be back for you shortly.
Just disconnecting the hood release cable.
Okay, so you pull this cap off, and now you just have to disconnect this little ball joint. Now we're good. So now when we pull the front clip of the car forward, this doesn't snag. So the next step is to remove these fasteners, but the APR instructions stress not to remove this one on the headlight. Just take these 2 off on both sides. Okay, so we're going to take off the yellow crash sensors, the airbag sensors.
So this is actually one of the reasons why you should disconnect the battery.
And we're going to take off the headlight wiring harness connector, along with the hood latch connector and the AC pressure switch connector right down there. We got our crash sensor here, the yellow. We have our headlight. Down there we have a pressure switch. You can kind of see this thing right here. It's a pressure switch for the AC. On the other side we have another crash sensor, the headlight, and then after that's done, fasteners here for the crash bar. There's 16mm. There's 4 on each side. Once those are, well, the thing is, disconnecting these, the whole thing's gonna fall. So APR gives you longer bolts that you can put in to allow to bring the front clip forward without it falling. We don't have the APR kit, we have the Wagner Tuning kit, so we don't have those bolts on us, but we're just gonna put something down here about this height to allow us to pull the front clip forward without it falling down, because we don't want to stress the AC lines or anything like that. Alright, so we have this little cover here for the headlight. This will have to come off, but first we're going to take off these 16mm fasteners for the crash bar here. There's 4 on each side. You can see them in there. They're big fasteners. Now if we take them all off, this whole thing's going to fall forward, so we want to just kind of loosen them and be careful. We may put something over here for support.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Oh. Okay, so when we put the engine back in, we kind of tightened down the crash bar bolts pretty tight, so Julian's having a fun time right now.
Once you repair your hernia, you can continue on with the other bolts. Oh. I hate when it snaps.
Alright, so we got all of them loose. We already loosened this side.
So we're gonna put something under here just in case this whole thing wants to go.
Perfect. What are you gonna put under there?
Table saw.
That might work. That might work.
Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna take out this T30 right over here.
That's weird. That's just weird. Weirdo. What a weirdo.
Whoa, I saw the radiator move, the whole assembly.
Perfecto.
Whoa, okay. We got more movement here, Captain.
Captain, we got some more movement.
That's not how we talk, Eric. We have our own accent, eh?
I'm just talking the way I want to talk.
Okay, we have some disconnection. This is good.
I don't know if it's just me or if the camera's getting more shaky or not, if we're just gonna drink more beer, but I don't know.
Look at this. Condenser and rest of car, and it's not moving anymore. So we have some disconnection.
Looks like we have one more Torx right there for that venting there.
Let's not drop this one in the radiator fans. Ah! Ooh! I'm gonna feel that tomorrow. We ran into a bit of a snag there. The ambient air temperature sensor right here actually plugs in to this part right here. So we had to disconnect that. There's probably easier ways to swap the intercooler, but right now we have perfect access here, so this is gonna be good for us.
Intercooler is this one right here. You guys saw that Wagner. That Wagner's a lot thicker. It's gonna flow a lot more. All we gotta do now is take these Torx screws out, and on that side, and we can pretty much slide the intercooler out. Well, there's one here as well on each side. We'll slide the intercooler out and pop the new one in. Julian is a hardcore guy. He's currently picking out the rocks from the condenser so that he can get as much flow into that Wagner Tuning Intercooler as possible.
Some people like dinner and a movie. I have more condensed expectations of my evening. Okay, so now I'm going to disconnect these boost pipes on the intercooler for obvious reasons. The intercooler's coming out. There we go. There's a clip for this side to go onto the pancake piece, but the boost hoses coming right off the intercooler are all going to be silicone couplers and hose clamps.
Awesome.
We're out.
All right.
We are free. Okay, it is time. Now we're going to take off these 4 T30s to disconnect the condenser from the intercooler, and then there's another 4 or so T30s behind the radiator to disconnect it from the intercooler. Then we can take the intercooler off and put the big boy in.
There's also a T30 right here on the side that we got to remove as well.
Impact drivers make things so much easier.
There we go. So we got one here just to hold it temporarily. Right there.
Just because these lines right here are rigid and you don't want any AC leaks.
Wine.
We ran out of beer. Okay, now the ones at the back, ones at the back, ones at the back, ones at the back, ones at the back. I'll use the impact driver wherever I can.
It's raining screws. Hallelujah, it's raining screws.
How do they expect you to get to that one? The guy who designed the AC system did not communicate with the people in charge of boost. Oh, that's how I'll get in there. Okay. Oh God, yes. Producing boost of his own.
There it is. It's actually extremely light. Look at that, super light. The Wagner is quite a bit heavier, but it's gonna flow a lot more.
Okay, so the actual, yeah, that's like maybe like an 1.25 inches, if that, and then we got like look at that difference, man. That's a difference. There is a huge difference in the sizes of these things. Not to mention like these end tanks, like that's gonna be a big flow improvement. Now right away we can just do this. And now the plumbing, the silicone tubes that come with the kit, there's an instruction manual that shows you how to set up those hoses to line up with the stock setup. So this is a complete stock fitment upgrade.
And we get to really take advantage of that K04.
Okay, so now we're going to take off the boost tubes that connected to the stock intercooler because we get some piping with the Wagner kit. There's the other one. I'm keeping the stock turbo outlet pipe, that really skinny one that everyone replaces, but I'll eventually replace that when I have more funds. because kind of broke right now. Eric, man, you keep farting when we're doing cuts.
Can't help myself. Okay. We got the stock boost tubes removed. It's going to give us more room for the new ones. So it's definitely easier to put the intercooler in first before attaching the boost tubes, because these tubes just get in the way when they're already attached to the intercooler.
Also, since we're supporting the radiator and condenser with that table saw, it makes it kind of harder because we can't come in lower. We have to kind of fish it in. Oh, we'll see what happens.
So we're just going to take our time with it and get it in there nice and easy without causing any damage.
That's the aftermarket intercooler. We'll put like 1 or 2 fasteners to hold it in place, and then we'll put the boost pipes in.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to modify the holes slightly. The good thing is the rad support area is plastic. Just had to drill the holes out a little bit because the intercooler, the holes don't really line up too well, but I mean it's an aftermarket piece. Okay, we got everything fastened together. Got our nice front sandwich over there with a lot more meat in our burger. Next step is to put the boost pipes back in. The steps after that are just going to be reversing all the crap we did last night.
Just reinstall everything and you're done. You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
And then we'll go for a test drive.
Yeah.
Okay, so the welds over here on the end tanks, we're bending some of the fins in the radiator, and just to prevent any leaks or excess pressure, we put just washers to space out this side a little bit.
So all the washers do is bring the intercooler further away from the radiator, so the welds on the intercooler don't touch the fins on the radiator.
We didn't have that problem on the other side, so we didn't put washers there, but now put a light from underneath. You can see that there's no contact with the radiator, which is ideal.
On both sides. So this side's also good. We got clearance, we're good to go. So Julian's just transferring over that green seal from the stock pipe onto that new CNC machined aluminum coupler piece.
So if you have an aftermarket turbo outlet pipe, you don't have to worry about this part. But the Wagner tuning kit comes with this to fit on the stock pancake turbo outlet pipe.